Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootleggers, shills, desolations, peasants, vassals, dreamliners. I'm a useful idiot, and I get to talk about a hometown company today, Boeing. And Boeing is right here in Seattle, or actually north of Seattle, and a lot of my extended family, going back for at least 40, 50, 60 years, a lot of them have worked at Boeing over the years, including my father. So anyway, it's pretty self-explanatory why Boeing employees might be part of a privileged class of unemployed. And that's what I want to talk about here, a privileged class of unemployed. And that includes a lot of union workers, and that includes a lot of government workers, who, of course, are part of the union. And they get special benefits that other unemployed people don't get. A lot of people don't think about that, but we have a class structure and a hierarchy within our unemployment system as well. Some people are less unemployed than others. And so let's get right to it. So there's a federal program. It was an agreement with the union, the International Association of Machinists at Boeing. And they set up this new agreement. And it's an agreement that was set up previously for the white-collar workers at Boeing, the Society of Professional Engineering employees in aerospace. And now this new agreement, the U.S. Department of Labor has approved Boeing workers, union and non-union, production workers or engineers laid off between April 2012 and June 2015 for a package of benefits. And this is under something called the Trade Adjustment Assistance Program. And this is a government fund, once again, set up specifically to deal with jobs and labor issues that are a result of outsourcing. And but let's get down to why this represents a privileged class of unemployed, that a lot of people don't enjoy these benefits. And you'll see right away. So first of all, they get extended unemployment for up to 2.5 years. And I think that date is rather important in a way, because this agreement is set up to go right up to the next election in 2016. And so this will be a real coup in keeping the union behind the Democrats all the way up until 2016. And so anyway, let's get back to this. Extended unemployment benefits for up to 2.5 years, a 72.5% tax credit on health care insurance premiums. So they're still going to get 72% of their health care premiums paid for by the company. 90% of their travel expenses for a job interview, up to $1,200. So they actually can write off their expenses for job interviews, and 90% of all relocation expenses for a new job. A lot of this stuff isn't that different from a lot of corporate severance packages, but this seems pretty gratuitous for even unions. And they also get supplemental pay for workers over 50 who are reemployed in a lower paid job, up to $10,000 for 2 years. So if you're over 50 and you get reemployed at a lower wage than what you make at Boeing, then Boeing will pay the difference. And then you also get a up to $25,000 training grant towards the cost of a college degree, which is quite generous as well. And then on top of that, 26 weeks of severance pay. And so here's this hierarchy, this caste system, this class system for the unemployed. And if you're lucky enough to basically work for a union or work for the government or work for anything in between, then you are going to be part of the privileged class of the unemployed. And Boeing hired just 14,000 people just in the last 3 years. So most of those 14,000 people, for example, will be eligible. And as of 2012, apparently 81,000 workers in total are covered. So that's quite a huge bone to throw to Boeing. But that's exactly what it is, because it turns out this arrangement was made because, as one spokesman said for Boeing, quote, "This has been a trade-off for giving the president the authority to conduct trade negotiations. In exchange for that, we should help those people who are going to be hurt," unquote. And that's a very interesting statement, because for one thing, it says that this agreement was set up with the with the Boeing machinist union to protect their jobs, or at least pay for the expenses for whoever is hurt by layoffs from Boeing. But more importantly, they already know that this trade agreement will outsource jobs from Boeing. So that statement is very revealing, because it tells us that they're already completely aware that there's going to be job outsourcing, and they're going to pay these people off just the same way they're paying Boeing off for making this agreement. So in 2012 alone, the program paid out $855 million in income support, and another $575 million more for training services, allowances, relocation, and administration. So just in 2012, this program paid out $1.4 billion in total. So once again, quite the privileged class of the unemployed, wouldn't you say? And let's get into the analysis of why this would be. Why would they get this kind of sweetheart treatment? Well, first of all, they're giving Barack Obama and the Barack Obama administration a blank check in negotiating the Trans-Pacific Partnership, as well as the Transatlantic Partnership and these trade agreements, which will undoubtedly cost a lot of them their jobs. And the other thing this points out is the fact that these moves are being made in these trade agreements, and while they promise it will create jobs in America, it's already baked in the cake and already explicit to everyone making these negotiations that there's going to be a lot of job losses and a lot of outsourcing. And another thing this tells us is the nature of free trade agreements and what they represent. And these new ones coming up will make NAFTA seem like child's play as far as farming out jobs overseas and equalizing the labor pool on a global scale. And then another thing we see is that we have a protected class of unemployment, and that is people who work for corporations, people who work for the government, people who work for corporations and government partnerships. And these are the ones who are protected. And let's not forget that Boeing has a huge connection to the military-industrial complex, so that's another reason why Boeing and these unions will get special treatment, because they got to keep business rolling for the military-industrial complex. And also, let's not forget that Boeing is one of the main facilitators of the United States drone program, so which is also very important. So they are going to take care of their own. And then, of course, last but not least, we see this voting base, this union base, that will be voting Democrat because of this sweetheart deal. But too bad the sweetheart deal will be running out right after the election, and then they'll probably get screwed then, depending on how things play out. But this is how trade agreements are conducted, too. That's another thing we should take away from this. And to put the icing on the cake as far as this story of the privileged class of the unemployed, the same day this article appeared in the Seattle Times, another article appeared in the Seattle Times that said that the state is going to lose 9 weeks of jobless benefits for long-term unemployed. So the irony, on the same front page, we get this sweetheart deal for union employees at Boeing, while the jobless benefits for other people living in Washington are going to be cut back drastically. So there we have it. Who would have thought there's a caste system even in the unemployed? And we have a privileged class of unemployed. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.